I want to share with you an image transfer technique that's very simple and works very well. It includes using violinist rosin as the base for the substance that actually holds the image for the transfer. You're going to need to pick up some violinist rosin, which is easily and readily available from any music store where violinists may buy supplies. You need Pictorico transfer film. It works the best. I haven't really tried any other because this works perfectly. It's a little pricey, but I'll explain to you how to save money that way. You'll need a good pair of scissors so you can cut the Pictorico. You'll need double-sided tape. Most of these supplies are available everywhere, so it's not hard to get. Cotton applicators. I use cotton balls, cotton swabs. I've used both. 91% isopropyl alcohol, which you can find in any pharmacy or any. You can find it online. It's easy to get. And then actual transfer solution that you create using the alcohol and the violinist rosin. So you need also printer paper, obviously, because you're going to print your image before you actually create the transfer. So you want to print your image, the image that you're going to engrave, onto regular printer's paper. This way you're able to have your image and cut the Pictorico to the exact size of the image. And that way you're not using a whole sheet of Pictorico transfer film and wasting the film, because it is very expensive. So you can see here where I've cut out just the right size of Pictorico for the image that I'm going to engrave. This is the best way to use it because it actually saves you wasted film. Like I said, the Pictorico is about $25, $30 a pack, but I've had a pack for a year and I've used maybe 5 sheets, half or less. So depending on how much you engrave, you'll use more, of course. But I've found that you can actually reapply the image. If you want to engrave the same image on a couple pieces, you can do it up to 3 times. 3 times it starts to get a little light, but it's still usable. I usually lay out and mark the exact dimension for the image, and I usually put just a dot of permanent marker so that I know where to cut. Now, Pictorico has 2 sides. One is shinier and one is a little bit matte. You're going to want to, on the shiniest side, and it's easy to see in the light. It's hard to see in this video, but it's easy to see in the light. The shiniest side. You're going to use your double-sided tape and put it on the shiniest side of the Pictorico. Now, I like to take some of the tackiness of the tape away by running it through my fingers a few times. That way, it's easier to peel off the film, and it doesn't stick to the paper and tear the paper. Because a lot of times I like to keep the image by my bench so that I have something to look at, the full image to look at. So you'll put the double-sided tape on the Pictorico on the shiniest side, as you can see, and just make sure it's firmly secured to the paper. Now you're going to print the image, run the same paper through, and print the image on the Pictorico this time. Now that the image is printed on the Pictorico film, it's ready to transfer. You can see how dark, crisp, nice the image has printed onto the Pictorico. So you'll take your workpiece and you're going to clean it thoroughly with the isopropyl alcohol. You want to just remove any dirt, any grit, any film from your fingers or like oils from your fingers that would prevent the image from transferring completely onto your work surface. Next, what you want to do is take the image transfer solution, and what I do is I mix it And I use the violinist rosin, and I flake and just like carve a little bit at a time of the rosin into the isopropyl alcohol until it's completely saturated solution of alcohol to violinist rosin. You'll know when you've got that because the violinist rosin will start to gather at the bottom. And so you want to wait, shake it up, leave it for a couple hours, come back, and if it's dissolved, then you're probably at the full solution. You just want to make sure that when it's finished, it's ready to use, and you coat, be like the whole thing liberally. You want to use, don't be afraid to use as much transfer solution as you can on your work surface. Now, what I do is I blow on the work surface to create, I don't know, I guess it evaporates the isopropyl alcohol and leaves the rosin. I don't know, it seems to work better. This was a tip that we learned in class, and it seems to work better. I don't know if there's science behind it. I have no idea. It just seems to transfer better if you don't let it air dry and you kind of force it to dry by blowing on it. Place your Pictorico film on top of your work surface, the printed side down, of course, and you'll use a burnisher. I use an agate burnisher, readily available online. And you want to make sure that you press firmly, but not too hard as to damage the back of the Pictorico film. The burnisher will be smooth, of course, and should slide across the film very easily, and you'll get a perfect transfer. Once you've burnished your image, it's as simple as lifting up a corner and peeling the film away from the work surface, leaving the transfer behind. It's very resilient. I find that, if you drag a finger across as you're engraving, it's not going to wipe away. The violinist rosin at this point still has a little bit of tack. You can let it set, or maybe even use a dryer to dry it a little bit further so that it's not as tacky, but I find that I can engrave right away. The image stays, and it creates a very legible and easy to follow transfer to your work surface. So hope you enjoy it. Try it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment, and I'll be happy to answer.